Well, Cecilia, her dad, was just 38 when she was found dead on a Sydney beach, murdered by her ex-partner. Cecilia's friends are now calling for change to make violence and coercion impossible to get away with.
I wish I had called the police. I blame myself for what happened to Cisa. I would have done so much more, so much better for my friend if I knew she was in danger.
Such a heart-wrenching story. Let's bring in Sue and Lloyd Clark now, the parents of Hannah Clark, who was tragically killed in a domestic violence incident in 2020 on the Sunshine Coast. Guys, as always, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I mean, again and again we see these stories. They're happening way too often. And friends and family left feeling powerless to stop this kind of abuse. It's just awful.
It is. It's just horrible. And I think education's the key. I think the more education we have, women and their families will see the signs and understand that just because it's not violent at the time, it can lead to violence. Coercive control, 9 times out of 10, will lead to violence. And then I think with education, we'll feel more confident to go to the police. Friends and family will report these incidences.
It just makes me so angry. I mean, this is the thing. You rightly point out, coercive control is basically the precursor to actual violence, physical violence that then follows. And women are losing their lives in droves in this country. And it's almost as though, you know, you talk about education and there seems to be this limited understanding about what actually constitutes coercive control, but surely it's not that hard. I mean, Lloyd, how do we get it through to people out there?
Unfortunately, it is hard because it's a built-up process over a period of time where one person will hold a dynamic power over the other person. And there's also where they separate the person from their family and friends. And all these signs, they're just little signs to start with. But once they all start getting put together, you can see them. So that's what Sue's saying is education. We need to educate our schools, our younger generation coming through. We need to educate the people at the moment, the society, judges, police.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to be educated. And the states are starting to do that. Queensland is doing it, New South Wales is doing it, but we need this to go national.
Yeah, that's what we need, isn't it? We need legislation that actually changes it so that there is a punishment for this kind of behaviour, right? That's really the only thing we can do from a government level at least.
I think so. You know, when you look at it, it will send a clear signal to the perpetrator, to the judges, to the police, and also the victims, that if we have a standalone law, that this will actually set a clear signal to them that you know, it's not right. We need respectful relationships.
And as you mentioned there, you know, coercive control is all about sort of those subtleties and those signs that you may not necessarily recognise to begin with. But when they mount, what should a person do?
I think they should speak to friends and family show their support, let the women feel they're validated, and then go and speak to the police. Find out what their options are. Let the police be aware that this is going on. And I suggest, if it's safe, keep a diary and keep different incidences and dates all recorded. And any messages or emails on your phone, send them off to someone else so they can keep them safe. But only do this if you can keep it safe so that there's no repercussions to the victim.
Yeah, as always, Sue and Lloyd, thank you so much for your tireless efforts in keeping our community safe in these incidents of domestic violence. And if you or someone you know is in need of support, you can contact 1-800-RESPECT. Hey there, Today fans, Sarah and...
What's my name again?
Oh my goodness, Carl.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
that never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?
Always happens.